today's episode, we are going to be answering your questions. All the questions that you've asked or written in. Please keep them coming.
Or that we've heard or asked us.
Yeah, some of that too. First one. What does LGBTQIA even stand for? Well, children. The L is for lesbian. I need to make up a song for this. L stands for lesbians. They're the ladies of the group. G is for gay men. You have to keep them in the loop. B stands for bisexual. They like guys and ladies. T is for transgender. They were born in the wrong bodies. Q stands for queer or questioning, for those who don't like to conform. I stands for intersex. They have both parts when they're born. A stands for asexual. They don't have sexual desires. So sing this handy song the next time someone inquires. There you have it. How do you guys identify?
Bisexual.
I don't really like to. I don't like to.
I don't like that word, but it's the only one that I guess is official.
Is official?
For my orientation.
I don't like a box or a label. If I was forced to squish myself into a box, it would probably be bisexual. Yeah. When did you know you didn't like men or only liked women? Well, we kind of answered that one. We're today years old, and we love each other, but
growth is a spectrum of experiences in your life. And just because you have one experience 1 year doesn't mean that experience is going to extend for the remainder of your life.
Or define you.
Yeah, there's going to be tons of things that are going to change and modify your view of the world and yourself. So it's not a matter of saying we didn't like or began to like. It's just something that became available and you became aware of and you've experienced it and you're like, oh, okay, this is something to add to my repertoire. Okay.
Yeah, awareness is the key. When did you come out?
I don't think I ever really had a coming out. My mother just became aware.
You didn't have a party? Brenda didn't throw you a party?
No, my mother figured it out long before I said anything. And then once she asked me, I said, yes, it is what you think it is. And I've been myself ever since.
Really, we kind of have to come out every day. Because people say, oh, are you married? Yes, I'm married. Oh, and what does your husband do? Oh, well, my wife. Oh, your wife. And it used to be, oh, your wife. And now it's, oh, your wife. It's changed in the last few years. How did your families and friends react?
My father was like, I don't care, whatever, as long as you're happy. That's all good with me. My siblings, they were fine. They were like, cool, okay. No one really gave me a hard time at all about it. So I was very lucky and fortunate in that regard.
Yeah, really, me either. I had some comments from family members, like one of my sister-in-laws said, well, as long as you don't come on to me. And I was like, I don't think
what
you
about Bama's church
really
members?
understand. Bama's church members?
Yeah, like.
Well, the only time that they knew was when you came with me to her funeral.
Okay.
Like, I didn't tell my grandmother because that would have gone over like a lead balloon or a fart in church. Wasn't happening. How did you two meet? And did you U-Haul? Let me explain U-Hauling and lesbianism. So there's a joke, I guess, a running joke in the lesbian community that as soon as two women start dating, they move in together. So one of them pulls the U-Haul up and moves in with the other
Come on
one.
in.
How did we meet?
Online. She messaged me online. It was a dating website. Would you even call it a dating? More like a social site.
Yeah.
Not everybody's looking for dates.
Yeah,
So it's just
that's true.
like a meetup, get to know you type of thing. And she messaged me, and we started communicating from there.
Yep. And I lived in Fort Lauderdale, and she lived here in Orlando. And we did the long distance thing for a year. And then finally I moved up here. So we did not U-Haul. Nope. Just wasn't practical or logistically sound at the time. When did you know you were in love? I knew.
I think there
quickly.
were a variety of moments and experiences where I just kind of looked back at you and I was like, oh yeah, she's the one. Yeah, I'm gonna take her.
Like what?
Oh gosh, there were so many. Well, the one that really sticks out was, of course, when one morning I was getting ready to return to Orlando, and I was walking out into the parking lot from your apartment, and I looked up and I saw you and Amari. And there was this overwhelming sense of home, of warmth that I didn't want to let go of. And I remember looking in the rearview mirror like,
And Amari
we gotta be together.
Amari was crying because he didn't want
He was
you
so
to leave.
little and adorable.
Yeah, he was like 6, I think, at the time, 5 or 6. I knew, like the very first time that you came over to my house. The first day we met, I knew, like, not when she came in, because I was like, oh hi. And then I was showing her around, and I had these like really fluffy big pillows on the bed. She's very reserved, and she's not very effusive. So she walks in, walks over to the bed, turns around, and like just throws herself into the fluffy pillows. And I was like,
Why? What did that signify to you?
Playfulness.
Oh.
Like,
I guess I should have really given thought to the fact that was your bed and it was laid out really nice, but it just looked so inviting and I just couldn't resist. I was like, ah!
That's not a side that you see that often, so that's why I was like, oh, you're playful. That was exciting for me because I have to have someone with a balance of, obviously she has to be serious to balance my craziness, but she also has to be playful because we have to have fun together. I can't do it any other way. So, way to go. I like that, playfulness. When and where did you get married?
Kent, Connecticut.
Kent Falls.
Yeah, well, Kent Falls. Well, the Falls part, was it Kent Falls or does the fall part come in part at the park where the fall actually exists? Was that Kent Falls?
I think it's all Kent, but like where we got married was Kent Falls.
Why? Because there's a falls there?
Yeah, because there's a waterfall.
So is that town called Kent Falls?
I think that town is Kent.
See? That's what I said. Kent.
She's
all
right.
right, Kent. We gotta go back.
When?
It was really, really nice.
When? This is a quiz.
Oh gosh. June 18th?
Mm-hmm.
I really wanted it October, but we kept going back and forth with a date and a number of guests, and I was like, you know what? Let's just
go somewhere else.
Do what we gotta do.
And it wasn't legal here at the time, which was what year?
I don't remember the year.
It's been a long time.
Yeah.
There's a little bit of an itch.
I've had a lot more memories since then.
7-year itch because it was 2011.
Wow.
Yep. Where did Ohana come from? Well, we were trying to figure out what we wanted our last names to be. And she's like, I'm tired of Williams. I don't want to be that anymore. And she didn't want to take my ex-husband's last name. And we talked about my maiden name, but I'm like, I've been there, done that. So we were like, let's just pick something. Because she was stationed in Hawaii when she was in the Army, and because we both have a love of Polynesian culture and music and things Hawaiian, we chose Ohana because it means family. And for those of you who have seen Lilo and Stitch, it's nobody is left behind or forgotten. And it just signified our coming together as a family, the three of us. So that's where Ohana came from. This is always a favorite question. Who's the man in your relationship? What would you answer that with?
I don't recall ever being asked that question. I'm pretty sure people wonder. But
I have been asked that question. My favorite response is asking someone in a same-sex relationship, like which one is the man or which one is the woman, is like asking one of the chopsticks, which one of you is the fork?
We both have strengths and weaknesses,
Yeah.
And our strength and weakness are pretty much polar opposites of each other. So we kind of come together to get whatever needs to be done.
Yeah.
And it works.
Have you ever dealt with prejudice?
I don't think I've ever seen anyone's prejudices, but I have seen the confusion people have with trying to make sense of our relationship.
God.
And I don't think that's a prejudice. I think that's so how does this work?
I want to tell that story about when we went to register Amari for school.
All right.
This was 2010 or something. Marriage was not legal federally yet. Just to give you a context, one of us goes to the counter and says, we'd like to register our son for school, whatever. And the lady comes up to the counter and she's like, okay, and you are, it's like that Saturday Night Live skit with Dana Carvey.
Mm-hmm.
And you are.
She
And
she had her paperwork there, and I explained to her that I was his stepmother. I don't know if I used the term stepmother or second mother.
Yeah, or
I
mother
don't remember.
two, mommy two, or something.
And she asked, like, if I was the biological mother or something like that. So I said, his biological mother is coming. She was like, oh, so you are... I said, I'm the second mother.
But then she didn't even, like...
She's like,
but she
okay.
It didn't register. Like, she didn't hear it. Like, she's like, oh, so you're the aunt?
Yeah, and she went into aunt, then she went into, okay, so who are you again?
Like,
we went through this like 10 minutes.
You're the father's sister? Like, oh my, it was seriously. And then
I said, we're married.
But she didn't understand. And then, even after that, she went and got her supervisor, and then he came out, and he was like, so you are her friend? They were not understanding. It was just, their consciousness was not there at all. What is one piece of advice that you would give? That's a very broad question.
Have patience. A lot of patience. Because you will be tested. Okay?
I would say get to know yourself. Know your triggers. Know what is what's really going on inside you, because 99% of the time when you think it's the other person, it's really you and your stuff going on. So that's gay, straight, friendship, parent, child, anything. So get to know your stuff and fix your own stuff so that you don't project it into the relationship.
I think as time goes by, you will realize that you had some hidden issues as well. So not everything can be addressed 1 year, 2 years, or 3 years, because within that time span, there's going to be other stuff that comes up.
Layers.
So you're constantly growing, your partner's constantly growing, and you guys are going through this thing where you've grown so much that now you're trying to figure out, how do we fit together? How do we make this work with this new knowledge that we have of ourselves and of each other? And sometimes it's hard.
Yes, it is. You can do it. All right. We will see you next time.
Bye-bye.
Bye.